Hi, it's Em from Make 'em Up, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my natural everyday foundation look and a bit of skin care as well. I use mineral foundation. The reason I use mineral foundation instead of liquid foundation is that I find because it's a powder and you brush it onto your skin or buff it, that it actually doesn't go right into your skin, and it creates not only a more flawless finish, more like an airbrush finish, which who doesn't want that. It also doesn't go right into your pores like liquid foundation can. Liquid foundation can have more chemicals and more ingredients in it that can cause blocking of your skin, whereas mineral foundation tends to only have a couple or a few ingredients. And they try to use, as a general rule, much more natural ingredients, and therefore you're not as likely to block your skin. So the foundation that I'll be using today, and this is my general go-to brand because you can get it from Priceline, and sometimes they have 40% off sales, which is when I tend to stock up, is NUDE by Nature, this brand here. And the colour I'll be using is light medium. I don't know if you can see that, but I use light medium. You'll see later I also go in with a concealer, or just on any blemishes I have or anywhere I want to have a bit of extra coverage. And I use the light colour by NUDE by Nature as well. I use a lighter tone just because I think it just gets the redness a bit better. And then I just go in with the translucent powder over the top once everything's done. This isn't mineral foundation or mineral makeup. It's something that goes over the top of everything, and that's just the RCMA no colour powder, so that's that one there. Before I go in with anything though, I always do skincare. I think skincare is so important. It's the reason that your skin looks good when you wake up. It's the reason that if you use it right, you'll stop the likelihood of getting as many wrinkles. You'll prevent getting blemishes as much. Skincare is the basis of why your skin will look good. Even with makeup on, it's going to always look a lot better if you have the correct skincare that you're using. So this is what I put on before my foundation. That's not to say this is my complete regimen, because there's a lot more to it than that. So I always go in with a moisturizing sunscreen. The one I'm using currently is by Ultraceuticals. This is SPF 30. I'm in Australia, so we have a very strong UV rate here. I'd probably like to go 50 next time, but this is what they had in the store when I was in there, so I just got it. I always go in with eye cream. I'm 29 and eye cream is very important to prevent wrinkles. Now I always use one with sunscreen because you know that you want sunscreen near your eyes. That's the most important bit, because your eyes can get wrinkly so easily, especially in the sun. So I use the Mecca Cosmetica To Save Eyes Hydrating Eye Cream. This is just a roll-on. Now I've already gone ahead and done my skincare, but I just roll on all around my eyes with a little metal ball, and then I just pat it in. After all that's sunk in, I usually give it like a minute, or just while I brush my teeth or two, and then I just go in with a primer. I love this one. I've gone back to it over and over again. For my skin type, which is combination skin, this is the best. It's expensive, like, don't get me wrong, it's pricey. This is the biggest size you can get from Mecca. And I think this was $90, so it's not a cheap concealer, not a cheap primer, but it does mattify my skin. It does create a really smooth base before my foundation goes on. And then of course I put a little bit of lip balm on. The reason I always like to have lip balm on before I put any makeup on, especially my mineral foundation, is because mineral foundation can cling to any dry spots, so you definitely want to have smooth moisturized skin. You want to have moisturized lips, because otherwise it'll just cling onto your lips and be like bleh. I did forget to say at the start, always wash your hands before you go in with makeup. That's just my ~1 rule. I use an antibacterial soap. I just use the cheapy Sapoderm. I get it from Woolies. Comes in a pack of like 3 pack, $5. I just wash my hands with it because I want my hands to be nice and clean before I go in with any makeup. So I did that before I started this, before I put anything on. Now I like to get my hair off my face because you girls know that it is nasty to have foundation in your hair. So just got my little headband on, and I'll show you guys how I go. Alright, first before I go in with the mineral foundation is I like to use a liquid concealer just around my eye area. The reason being is that I don't want, as I said before, any dry areas can cling to mineral foundation. So I like to use this one. It's Urban Decay Naked Skin. I've got a couple of others in rotation as well, but this is the one I've been coming back to recently. And I'm in the color Light Warm. And what I do is I put this around my eyes in a triangle shape before anything else. I've already got some of my eyes because I did my eye makeup, most of my eye makeup before this. So I do it on the top of my eyes usually, and I put it on the bottom as well, like this. And I get in here, like right in here, and then I go with my already damp beauty blender, and I just dab, dab, dab. Okay, so now that that's on, while it's still setting, you don't want it to set beforehand. I like to go in with a bit of translucent powder underneath just to set it, otherwise it can crease a little bit. So what I do is I dip my RCMA powder into just the lid of an old Nude by Nature container, or an old container of any sort, and I just tip it out like that into the lid, and then I go in with my little powder puff, and I just get some on there, just a little bit. You don't want too much because otherwise you'll look dry and creasy. No one wants that. And just dab that like that and that. Get a little bit more on there and do the other eye. Okay. And you go right, I like to go right to my lower eyelash line, just to make sure that where you can naturally get creasing, it doesn't do that. So now that I've got just the under eye concealer on for my makeup base, I go in with the mineral foundation. So I'm going in with my light medium mineral foundation, and I've just got the Nude by Nature buffing brush that is recommended for the foundation, and you tap that guy in there into the lid. Now I've got a fair, I'd say it's a reasonable amount in there, but I'm going to go in a couple more layers anyway because I like to have quite a flawless base. So if you can see that, I'm just going to swirl my brush in there and you can see all the powder coming up. It does get a little bit messy, I'm not going to lie. And I've got my mirror over here, so I'm just going to buff it in, and I'm going to collect a little bit more to build up a bit more base there and get the top part of my face. So I like to do a combination between sweeping and kind of a soft round buffing. Not too hard, it's very soft. And this brush is actually so soft, it feels really nice on the face as well. And I'm getting a bit more on there for my nose area because that's always a little bit red. Now I like to come a little bit down my neck as well, just so there's no lines, although it's very hard to get lines in your makeup, to be honest, when you're wearing mineral because it's very forgiving. Okay, we're just going to get to the coverage I like. It's really important when you're doing this to try and miss, if you can, try and miss your eye area, because you don't want to get the foundation over top of your concealer because it can look quite cakey if you're putting this over the top of your liquid concealer that you've already set with powder. It's just another layer, and I don't personally think it needs it after. I don't need it anyway. Okay, so now that that's in place, you can see, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but I've still got a couple of little red spots that I just want to cover. They're not necessarily pimples, but they're just kind of a little bit of kind of like light scarring from the last time I had a breakout, and they just, you know how they linger sometimes. So what I do is I've got a little angled brush here. It's very tiny, and this guy he's got a little point there, which is good to get right around any area you want to get in. And this one is just it's just a random brand. It's called Makeup Show. I think I got it from like some $2 shop. It doesn't really matter because it's good. It was like $2, so. And I get the light foundation, and I have already got some there. I cover the lid, I cover the brush, this guy, and what I do is I go in and I just conceal any areas that I think need a bit extra. So what I do, and I hope you guys can see, is I get some on the brush and dust that mirror, and I just kind of brush it on the area that needs extra coverage. I'll do it on this side, hopefully you can see. See there? And it makes him go away. I got a little bit of redness around my lips sometimes. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that coverage, but not finished yet. I'm going to get a big fluffy brush. This guy is by NUDE by Nature. Oh, sorry, what was I saying? This guy's by Real Techniques, and this is their powder brush. And this is a nice big fluffy brush, and I get the RCMA No Color powder again. Tip it into my lid. I've still got some in there from before, and I tap my powder brush in. And I just tap this. I like to tap, I don't want to disturb the foundation I've already put down, all over my face, avoiding the eye area. Because I've already set that, so there's no point. And I just pick up as much as I think I need until my face looks quite mattified. You can totally skip this step, by the way. They do have a translucent powder in the NUDE by Nature line. This is just what I like to use because I think it looks nice. It gives me a nicer finish, but you can totally just skip this. If you have dry skin or skin that doesn't tend to get oily, you're totally fine just to go in with the mineral foundation. I just like this as an extra security against getting shiny. Okay, so once you've set all the areas that you need to set, I do my whole face, you will probably need a bit of colour. Now, I said before, I don't use full mineral makeup on my base. You totally can. I just don't because I like these products better and they don't happen to be mineral makeup. So I have got a bronzer to bring some colour and dimension back into my face because as you can probably see, it's all one colour and I'm pale, so look like a ghost. I've got the Bahama Mama bronzer by The Balm. This is a really, this looks very dark to my skin though, but because I've got the mineral foundation on, I find liquid foundation really clings onto these kind of products, but the mineral makeup does not, so I tend to go for darker colours to work over the top because they don't show off as much otherwise. So I just got this brush here. It's a Eco Tools brush. I think I got it from like Kohl's or Woolworths. It was like $14. It's a really soft kind of medium domed brush, and I'm just going to contour and bronze my face a little bit with it. This is a nice cool toned bronzer, so it can be used as a bit of contouring as well. And I'm just going to go under here and a little bit down my neck, why not, just to tie it all in together with the rest of my body. Okay, and a little bit more on my forehead. And I've got this brush here, which I use. This came with my Cooler bronzer by Benefit, I believe. And this is just more of a chiseled kind of flat brush. And I use underneath my cheeks, so I just go on there, and I use it there. And then if I'm feeling extra fancy, I go a little bit down my nose like that, and that just the sides of my nose, just to give that a bit more definition and also just give me a bit more sun-kissed. Now I'm going to put a little bit more on my forehead and around my temples, just because I feel like being bronzy today. Okay. Now let's bring some Victoria's Secret Glowy to our cheeks. And I love this blush. This is my favourite blush. I recommend it to anyone who'll listen. It's the Luminoso blush by Milani. It's got I've gone through a couple of tubs with this now. It's got this really nice gold shimmer through it, and it's a nice apricot colour, which looks really nice with my skin. And I've got this, another Real Techniques brush. It's called the stippling brush, so it's got a little flat head on it, and I like this to pick up this blush. It just picks it up really well. I tap that in and I just do a little smile, and I kind of pat that over my cheeks again, just because I don't really want to disturb the makeup underneath. So like that. And I really focus it on my cheek, on my apples of my cheeks, just to give a bit more. That's where you get the most natural looking glow. And now I'm looking at my makeup, and this can happen sometimes. I'm sure you know that sometimes when you put everything else on top, the underneath makeup can get a little bit disturbed. I like to just go back in if I see that with my concealer brush, and I pick up a bit more, and I just go on top of the areas. The beautiful thing about this is there's that mineral foundation, it's all powders I'm working with, so it's all, you can build on top of it, and it doesn't look cakey at all. So you probably can't see because I think I'm going slightly out of the shot, but I'm just covering up an area that's got a bit of red underneath. And there, and then I'm just going to get that guy again. Okay, so now that we've got all the face on, I'm going to put a bit of glow into my cheeks. I've already got a fair bit of glow, but I thought I'd just add this in case any of you particularly love a bit more of that sun-kissed glow. I've got the Becca Champagne Pop, which is a gorgeous kind of bronzy golden highlight, and I've got the Real Techniques setting brush, and I actually use this as my highlighter brush, and what I do is I just go across the top of my cheeks, and I just go a little bit up here as well, and same thing on the other side, and then a little bit down my nose, a bit above my lip. So I don't like an over-the-top highlight look on myself personally. I really like kind of a natural look, like I'm just naturally glowing from within. But I do think it can look really gorgeous on a really like glam going out kind of night, especially when it's dark, and then you just catch a pop of that, you know, glowing cheeks. I think it looks amazing on some people. And then what you're going to need to do, if you're like me, is you're going to want to take your hair out because that headband is annoying. And then you're going to have a brush handy, which I have to find. There it is. And we'll just brush our eyebrows out. Just brush them up a little bit so they're nice and fluffy. And you'll get that you might have a little bit of the foundation on your lips, so I just like to put a little bit of lip balm on. Bit thick. And to finish off, I'm just going to put a little bit more of some definition on my eyes. I already had I had a soft brown eyeshadow already on my eyes, just around the actual lids and a little bit over the crease as well. I'm just going to bring some of that bronzer and tap it onto this little brush, this little pointed crease brush by Makeup Geek, and I'm going to define the under bits of my eyes. I'm going to get this bronzer under here and here. And I'm going to put a bit of mascara. I already have mascara on my top of my lids, on my top eyelashes, what am I saying? And I'm just going to add some mascara on the bottom eyelashes. For my bottom eyelashes, I like to use this really small combed brush by Kevin O'Kwan, and it's the volume mascara. I personally don't think it adds any volume, but I just like it. It's the definition of my eyelashes on the bottom. And I just brush this little guy on here. And try to do what I just did, which is get it on your face. Just going to wait for that to dry so we can get rid of it. That's my finished makeup look. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about my routine, or my skincare, which there's a lot more to it than this, or if you have any comments or critique you want to give me. This is my first YouTube video, and I want to do lots more. I would love for you to give me any feedback you have, and yeah, thanks for watching. This is Javert, my 6-month-old pug. He said he wanted to say hello. He was curled up on my feet. So this is Javo. Say hi, Javo. Say hi. Bye. Thanks for watching.